So this review is on the Respirator style mask that some people have been wanting. I just want to show you what is basically in here. I have two sets of it. That's why this one is still in here. But it's been a little bit modified. What happens is that it doesn't originally come with this copper mesh, and I'll explain that in a minute. But this is how it pretty much looks. It originally just comes with these cheapy little filters. It says there's carbon in there, but as you can see, there's pretty much nothing. It's just a piece of paper and that's about it. I would rip it open, but what's the point? But this is how it comes in. These two straps, one goes on the neck, one goes on top of the head. They're the same length, and as you can see, they're pretty short. So what happens is, I'll explain that more in a second, but other than the copper mesh, it's pretty much how it comes out of the box. And put this back first, and I'll explain the one I'm using. So here is the one I'm using, and it's fairly comfortable. As I said, what happens is that the strap for the neck and the strap on the top of the head is basically the same length. But what happens is that there's no way as a doll face that you can basically put the top strap, and that's why I basically took one of the conference seminar strap ID badge straps, and basically this was from a online security conference badge. I basically just looped it through and I cut it to length. That way it fits on top of my head, and basically it fits like this. While wearing it, you can basically feel the valve, the air blowing out of the valve whenever you breathe out. It gives a pretty strong flow, and then this filter itself is actually pretty good. And one of the reasons why I kind of like it is that you don't have to use their filters. As I shown a few seconds ago, what happens is it comes with basically that one filter, and that's about it. But what happens when you unscrew it, you can see that I basically took, again, I bought some 100 copper mesh, which is like a 150 micron filtration and everything, and I placed it into the filter like this, so. And then after that, basically I used a polyester filter and basically put it on top of that. That way it has actual filtration and everything. This is pretty good and everything, and what happens is that I'll basically replace this material depending on how often I use it. If I use it basically every day, I'll probably replace it every like 15 days or so. It really depends on how long I'm using it and if I can pretty much smell anything, because as those who know who's been wearing masks and everything knows, pretty much whenever you wear for a long time, especially if you eat something heavy, you'll basically be breathing in the smells for a while. And that's one of the reasons why you will need to replace it. But that's what I'm using right now and everything. It works pretty good. It doesn't heat up as bad and everything. I'm just doing the lazy way. The screws on this thing is so cheap that I can just snap it instead of screwing it. Screwing it sometimes takes a while. But as far as these masks and everything, they're a lot more comfortable than your N95s because a lot more air comes in. You have two valves that's basically air coming in and out. And then, I'm sorry, carrying in, and then the air coming out is right through here, blowing the air downwards instead of basically in someone's face. It's silicone here, and it's kind of hard plastic here. It still feels kind of flimsy, but like I said, it feels a lot more comfortable than the N95s. Due to the fact it's silicone and everything, it doesn't absorb the moisture that a cotton and vaporate out like when you're wearing the cottons. What happens when you're wearing cottons, the cotton will absorb the water in your breath, and after that, with your body heat, it'll vapor out. That way it doesn't store it like this does. this because it's pure silicone and everything, it will just basically store the moisture. After a hour or two of wearing it, you actually need to get a dry paper towel, actually wipe this, because you'll see this completely covered in a thin layer of water. Seems kind of disgusting and everything, but it is your own breath and everything that's storing in here. As far as the bad points in regards to this, as you can see right here, the air comes in here and it goes out here. The problem when you're talking is that because there's no direct passage, your voice tend to go straight. When it goes straight and everything, so talking to anybody, your voice will be muffled. There's no way around this except for the other filter I showed you. The mouth, unless the filter was directly in front. Directly in front, since that's the direction that your voice heads towards, that's the only way your voice will not be muffled. But due to this design where the filters on the sides and the bottom, your voice will be muffled. It will sound muffled, and the person who's listening to what you're saying, everything, will come out muffled. That's the bad thing about this filter. But like I said, if you're basically just doing a trip where you're not planning to talking to anybody and everything, it's a great thing. And that's my review of this respirator style filter.